Just quickly, I don't want to harbor on this because every role just has, unique sets of challenges. And of course, I'm going to flip it around to the positive, but just to give a realistic snapshot in summary, what are some of the challenges that you face, day to day? Maybe it's week to week or quarter to quarter, I'm not sure. But what can you share in terms of, again, something that is just inherent in your role that, you have to overcome, again, day to day or month to month? Excuse me.
I think the biggest thing is with my job, I definitely touch all areas of the organization. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs something out of the website. Everybody needs their information out there. So there's definitely a push-pull relationship between, I'm within the public relations department here.
Right.
And, we are very sensitive to a lot of things that we put online, and we want to make sure the messaging is right and we're presenting our brand in the best manner possible.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times you'll get different requests. They might be marketing driven. They might be driven by the ticketing department. So we just have to make sure we stay consistent with our message, and we want to meet everybody's need to the best of our own abilities, but it has to fall in line with our principles.
Right. Now let's flip that around. Thank you for the insight. Let's flip that around. Obviously I can think of a few, but it's not about me assuming things. It's about you helping us. But there's got to be something that keeps you coming through this atrium door every day. How would you shortlist, what is it that keeps you coming back?
It's a special place to work. It's Lambeau Field. No matter how challenging things get,
right,
day to day, Monday mornings, no matter what, I'm driving into Lambeau Field every day. So it's a dream place to work, especially for somebody that grew up here. It's definitely a place that has high character employees, so the people you're surrounded with are just terrific to work with. There's just something special about it, and it doesn't hurt that you get paid to watch football games.
It's not a bad perk.
Yeah.
Not a bad perk. So during the game, you get to sit back on a Sunday and enjoy. Do you travel with the team as well, or?
I've been traveling since I've been full-time.
Okay.
So I'm at all the games.
Okay.
I'm up in the press box during about the first 3 quarters, just kind of maintaining the website,
mm-hmm,
updating some photos,
right,
putting highlight videos online. And then the post-game routine is pretty much just shooting video of the post-game press conferences, of the players in the locker room. When we win, shooting the post-game speech that the
sure,
coach gives to the team. So it's a lot of fun.
You mentioned something, and I'm sorry to keep going back, but again, it's kind of going forward with the next question. Really, is you won some awards, or a award at college, and kind of got you in. There is certainly an academic piece that you can't escape. That's going to put someone in a position like you that's now working in the NFL. Maybe you could share with me some of the intangible qualities that you think are required, just from your experience and how many years you've been here, that you think would help someone else, in addition to the academic credential piece, the people skills. What can you share along those lines?
Well, especially after going through 2 internship hires myself, I know what we're looking for. I think what qualities really help in this field, at least specific to something in communications or public relations. Just being very thorough and very detail-oriented. It's something that we're, very serious about, mm-hmm, especially for the website. We want to accurately provide the information. We don't want any mistakes on things. So I think it's just an extreme attention to detail, being willing to look at something 5 times before you finalize it. So that goes with term papers, projects, anything.
Right.
To provide a great example of something that you did that's just clean, thorough for a potential employer, I think is one of the first things that stands out, and definitely has separated candidates in the past. And as simple as something on a resume, I've seen typos on resumes. I've had somebody send me the resume of a family member by accident. So it's just paying attention to every single thing that you do. You want to portray yourself in the best light possible.
Right.
And you just can't have any room for error in situations like that you have time to prepare for.
You bet.
And also being willing to learn from mistakes. I've definitely had my share of mistakes, had my share of typos here and there, and trust me, it kills me every time it happens, but I certainly learn from it, and I don't let it happen too often.
Right. Is there been one piece, or maybe there's been a series of little bits of advice that someone has just passed on to you, maybe in your high school day or your college days, could have been a professor, something somewhere along your past that's just really stuck with you that you've always just held on to, and it's kind of you go back to it every now and again, that you in turn would pass on? Is there any, maybe there's one piece of advice, maybe there's a couple nuggets, that pearls of wisdom, anything that you would mind or be willing to share?
I think the biggest thing is just working hard at what you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be here if I wasn't passionate about what I'm doing. So it starts really with what you're going to school for. You might not know early on, but once you kind of decide what area you want to funnel into, That'll help you get potentially a student job or an internship that leads to a foot in the door somewhere else, maybe to your dream job.
Right.
But that's the biggest thing, is just follow what you're passionate about.
Sure.
It's naturally going to turn into something that I think you're successful at if you really care about it deeply, and it can only open doors down the road.
You know, you've gone through college. You know, your specific niche is pretty unique, but you know, I don't know if IT is the right bucket to put you in. I don't mean to put you in that bucket, but is that a fair assessment, or maybe there's a different term for it?
Well, I think what I was going to school with started out as more of an IT-oriented thing. I started out in computer science.
Right.
About halfway through college, I decided it wasn't totally for me. There was a bit too much programming and math in it.
Right.
So I switched to information sciences, which is kind of a hybrid between that and communications, which I think is the perfect major for something, at least in my specific role within PR. I was able to have a little bit of training in the PR side of things, but also keep my computer skills and kind of work on those. Knowing,
you know, on the heels of that question, knowing what you know now, what you've been through, you know, the information science and the hybrid, and now you've kind of roll up to the PR department. If you were to go back to teach a course at any university, maybe your own or somewhere else, you know, as part of a sports administration degree, you know, there's over 300, 400 colleges that have that. What course would you teach, and why would you think that you would teach that course? We can come back to it too. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I mean, I've been more interested in communications classes, or at least that field, since I've been working here. So I wish I had taken more of those myself. I can't say I'd be fit to teach it quite yet.
Right.
But that might be something that I'd be interested in.
Well, it's hypothetical, like if you were to go back.
Right. Otherwise, I know there's not a lot, at least locally, with social media, and that's kind of a budding area.
Right.
It might be tough to kind of wrap a whole class around, but I know they have popped up. I've seen them online. So that might be an interesting area, just kind of with the back and forth between students, because I mean, they can definitely offer a perspective that you're not thinking of in your role. They're using it in a totally different manner than you are as a brand. You know, the consumer looks at it from a different set of glasses.
Absolutely. You know, we're just wrapping up, but I wanted to ask one last question, kind of, again, in that same mode of how you would kind of guide someone or give counsel to someone. But if someone came to you that's a recent college grad, or they're about to, or they're going through a graduate program, and they came to you and said, you know what 3 to 5 strategies would you tell me or advise me that I should implement as part of my career strategy or career search strategy? I'm really trying to break into a career in sports. It's what I want to do. How would you advise someone? What top 3 to 5 ideas would you give someone?
Well, I guess depending on where you are in your school and how far away you are from graduation, don't be afraid to try something new or to get experience somewhere maybe that doesn't seem as desirable as you want to end up in. But it definitely leads to bigger and better things if you succeed in your role. Internships, it worked out for me. I think it's a great way to get a bigger opportunity. If you cut your teeth in your internship and you're willing to sacrifice and put in the hours and do the grunt work, you're going to earn something better as long as you're good at it. So I think just be willing, be open, try something maybe that'll help you in your career at some point. But connections are a big thing, and you definitely build relationships and meet new people just trying new jobs. And
appreciate it. That's some great insight. Let's do one thing. We'd like to give a little shout. Of course, anyone that knows the Packers knows how to get to the Packers website. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Is there any other blog or anything that you contribute to that someone could see, you know, hey, this is the type of work that Duke Bobber does. Here's the writing. Here's the website. Anything else you want to direct our audience to that will, again, help promote you and the Packers itself?
Well, I think
other than the website.
Other than the website, well, we have our Facebook and our Twitter accounts, facebook.com/Packers, twitter.com/Packers. We're pretty happy with how those are doing. We're looking into doing an iPhone app, which we think is going to come out in the next month or two. So I guess hopefully you can look for that in the iTunes App Store if it gets approved.
You bet. Duke Bobber, Internet Manager. Make sure we get titles correct.
Coordinator.
Excuse me. Duke Bobber, Internet Coordinator. I appreciate you taking the time right here on Voice of the Box.
Thanks, Matt.